Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, game number 1, grand finals time here. Well, finals of the Wrath of the Gods. Retold qualifier number 1 on the left side of the map in the blue color, playing as Kronos. His name is Recon. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Thor. His name is Kvoth. Naka is joined with me. Nakamura RTS, for those of you who want to play at home.
Hello.
What are you seeing here already, my friend?
I am seeing Goat's Lake. The goats are getting grabbed very early on. Of course, Kvoth knows he must go out there and pick up as many as possible, because he will likely be contained within this base, especially playing 4. You might go for that Dwarven Armory, but he's not doing so immediately, which kind of suggests that maybe he will play this more straight up as a standard Norse. Something we don't see very often, and certainly I haven't seen that in today's tournament.
No, we haven't seen it just yet, but, you know, part of this is also, like, you can drop the Dwarven Armory whenever. Like, sure, you delay the Dwarf from coming out, but you're not slowing your advance time down so long as you throw that Dwarven Armory up before it's way too late. Like, it takes, what, 30 seconds, 45 seconds to build the armory. You also got to build the temple as well, and a house. So there is a little bit to be concerned about, but Kvoth at the moment, you're absolutely right. He's just rushing up to the next stage. He's playing around this early aggression. And Recon here, to be completely frank, he doesn't have to rush. You see him dropping the temple, now he has to rush. If you ever notice
the resources just didn't line up.
Yeah. If you ever see something different happen in the game, you can always adapt. You can always figure something out here. What's happened?
I'm scared. Hold me.
Okay.
He went up Leto.
Wait, he went up Leto? Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I'm serious. And there's no house for Recon, so there's a villager stuck at 99%. With Recon.
This is the new rush build here at the moment. This is the way to play. This is the terrifying thing. There's no temple up just yet. The goats are trying to get sent back. The oracles are in place. The berserk sees the temple coming in. Kvoth hasn't even thrown a temple down. What is he doing?
He went to the other side of the map to build a house, and it's coming back to bite him for sure. Now, there are several scenarios where you want to consider making a second berserk in the early game, and maybe this might have been one of them.
Well, he has two.
Considering that you're going out there hunting for ghosts. He's making a house! Oh my god! Recon's up Leto. 2 automatons are coming in, and potentially more.
Where do you put the temple?
Oh my good lord.
What is it? I don't even know. What am I watching?
There's no temple.
Wait, no, there is. There is a temple. It's in the top corner of the map, Naka. It's right here. He's getting the Ursa out. He's completely fine.
Okay. Wait, where is the automatons going?
They're searching for that temple. They're like, where is it? Where is it? The oracle is coming up here. It might discover it for Recon. Recon's moving up here. He's going to have to get very, very lucky. He's got no line of sight for the moment. The automaton is charging through here to try and deny this one. And this is going to mean a big fat... Oh, no. He saw just a little hint of it on the ground there. And he's all... He doesn't deny the troll, but he can deconstruct that temple if he wants. It looks like he's not going to go for it. He's just going to start bashing away. But to be... I mean, Naka...
I don't think that works.
This early game, what is important about it? It's getting villager damage. Kvoth, he's completely fine. Is that an armory he's throwing up? No. Okay.
No armory allowed, okay? We've seen enough of that, says Kvoth.
I thought that would have been just the ultimate greed play here. You go, all right, I've got my Ursa out to deal with this. I'm going to get a couple more things out. He's going to snipe down an oracle, and Kvoth, he is off to the races in this game. Like, you know, you might think that there's only one angle, there's only one meta, but here's the thing. Just because something is the best play doesn't mean you have to do it every single game. Especially when it's not the best play in this game against what Recon is going to be going for. Recon now getting himself out that counter barracks, that military barracks, and he's going to make Murmillo and Terma. But...
there's more berserks coming.
Yeah, there's berserks coming out, and this is the thing, right? Kvoth knows this. He actually told me about it while I was complaining about how broken Atlantean is, and then I was like, oh, you know what? You know, this is kind of strong. Go through 4 City, Mithril Breastplate, Mass Berserks. What do you do as Kronos? What do you do as Atlantean against that?
There's no direct counter like you'd think Cairo Ballista, but no, if you have overwhelming numbers, then you just get in on top and kind of wreck them. The way Cairo Ballistas work, you kind of need them to be guarded by something else. So you would need Murmillo up front.
I mean, you can always mix in myth units as well to help out. That's always a great idea. But then you've also got to contend with the fact that your opponent is macroed in to food and gold already. So they can just switch in to get a ton of Hersa out to deal with that as soon as they spot that. And obviously here, Recon, he's going to be pumping out those automatons as well. Most likely, they're super cheap. They're effectively... what are they worth in terms of an actual Murmillo? They've got double the HP. They've got a little bit more damage. But they cost the same effectively as a Murmillo. What is it, 90 gold? Versus 90 resources total. 55, 30 or 85 resources, so close enough.
And then there's a favor as well, so you can't be spending that on the satyrs later down the line when you get to the heroic age. Fluffit is going to be going into this. Now, Spider Layer is actually one of those things that can protect potential Cairo Ballista if we get to that point.
Yeah.
Some just got cast. This is also always something that Recon can retreat back into if they have a fight.
Yeah, and the other thing that always kind of goes by the wayside ever so slightly is Spider Layer gives you line of sight. So a really nice place to put these is on town centers, on gold mines, basically anywhere that you want to see the enemy map. And it's super cheap to do this. Obviously, it takes some time to recharge, but these are where you want to put these spider layers most of the time.
Oh, there's the Berserks now looking for some damage. One of them does go down. And Recon is still just posturing outside of this base, but I think we did mention it's a double gold mine spawn here on Ghost Lake, so Recon won't be able to do much of anything out here. I mean, he can bonk the temple, I guess. That's not bad.
Yeah, and now the armory is up for Kvoth, and this means at this stage there's no like weakness to getting these armory upgrades out, right? Like they train him at the correct speed. They get reset back to normal when you hit the classical age. They train faster in the heroic age. But so you're going to get those out. And effectively getting these armory upgrades in is kind of like just unlocking a second town center at this point without having to pay for it.
And you're going to want those upgrades anyhow. So you might as well go for it. We've got medium berserks. You can't get heavy until you're heroic. So it's the only way to make them better without going heroic.
Sniping this temple is a lot of lost resources here. It's a 300 for a temple, and oftentimes when you go Leto, you actually want multiple temples once you get all the oracles out. And obviously here, Recon hasn't managed to keep his alive. The temple goes down. The Murmillo are now in, and they're going to be chasing down. But Kvoth says, hey, let's have a fight. Before saying, no, I better get out. There's going to be some scary things coming for me.
Yeah, all those automatons are a little bit much. Don't want to engage them directly, so if you can run away, then great. Let's do that. Bragi's coming in, Boit, so I think it's totally the right move to just leave. Later, you'll have flaming weapons ready for this fight. Let's save it for that.
Yeah, 100%.
Save all these units.
All these berserks have to retreat back, and I mean, at this stage, you're kind of constricted into your main base, but he's got the back gold mine, like we said. From the two gold mine Ghost Lake. He's got wood is a little bit exposed, so that's a bit of a weakness. He's gonna have to garrison and kind of defend here while waiting for that heroic age to come through. But then he'll be able to drop Dwarven Mine on top of his town center. And for the moment here, Recon can't really enter this base.
It's a really big army though for Recon. Even with flaming weapons, I have to say I don't think this is too bad for Recon.
Yeah, the thing is, Kvoth, Kvoth knows knows Atlantean inside and out. He's played them quite a lot. So he also knows the counter to his god, or what he struggles to beat. So he's going to go for that, whatever that is. And I imagine he's just going to be if I'm playing here, I would just wait to see I can get full population and then just go out, flaming weapons, and then call it a day. Obviously, Recon's going to have access to chaos if that happens, but by that stage, you're not even that worried. Because you just got so many units. You don't even have to click flaming weapons. So this is a scary moment for both players, in all honesty, but we'll see what can be made here. Is heavy infantry, Call of Valhalla want to be grabbed here for Kvoth. Obviously, there's a very, very good upgrades for his units. And the question is, what does Recon go into? Does he go in for Arcus to try and get some actual counters in for the Mermiller? Or not the Mermiller, for the Berserks? Or is the solution a little more simple? Straight Mythic Age, implode like we've seen time and time again in this tournament, and just erase the units.
I'd love to find out. It looks to me, Boit, that Recon is more interested in winning this next upcoming fight conventionally. So he will have chaos, yes, that will hurt the Norse army quite a lot. He will have heroes. He will have the 2 satyrs ready to go as well, and plenty of Cairo Ballista. So this is right now too small. Kvoth is risking his army at this point.
And I mean, do you stay in here and flaming weapons? This is pretty all in, and he does go for it. Chaos won't be in. The town center is going to get denied here, and that's going to be denying the heroic age of Recon as well. This is going to be so close here.
Ooh, the repair is in. It's just enough. And he's winning the fight conventionally. He doesn't need chaos. But the town center being down is a huge issue. Even though there's all these survivors, I have to favor Kvoth from here on out. He's making more and more units back home. He's getting his H3 Dwarven Mine down, which is actually 3,000 gold, being gathered from faster as well than the regular gold mines. It all adds up.
Yeah, now he's got 70 favor in the bank after losing all of those Berserk. Every single Berserk you lose is 1 favor. Plus all the fighting with that flaming weapons can actually go in to mass trolls here. Which, I mean, if you think that mass Berserks is strong, imagine mass Berserks plus mass trolls. Now I ask you, what do you do as Atlantean when that starts coming through? Because the myth units, they don't work anymore.
It is scary, Boit. I think the Balder will be happening. This is very clear. The hill fort right there to protect the healing spring. There's enough gold here. There's another gold mine out there, should it be necessary. But I think Kvoth just saves up, quicks up, makes as many units as possible on the way to Mythic. And what does Recon even do? Because sure, you're heroic, but what you would actually need to beat this now is Mythic with Implode, with Fanatics. And he's just not gonna have that.
You said Balder, and I was like, yeah. We're not gonna see Ragnarok. We're not seeing Balder in this game. It's gonna be Fimbulwinter. That's gonna devastate the economy, and then Kvoth is gonna win conventionally like a normal person. But no, we're seeing Balder. Kvoth is at 52 villagers right now, and it looks like he's gonna go for a Ragnarok. I haven't seen Ragnarok in Retold in so long. It might just work. It might.
Yeah. Look at this guy spending his favor on another Dwarven Mine. I love it.
While he's going Mythic Age, he spends that favor. What do you...
Sir. Okay. Kvoth. It would have been double the gold. Don't tell anyone, though.
It doesn't matter if you're just going to be going for an all-in with Balder.
If you just win.
Yeah, just go for an all-in.
Win, it's fine.
Why not? I've got this. Okay, this is going to be... If Ragnarok wins this, it's proof that Rag is balanced, right? If Rag doesn't win this, it's proof that Rag is underpowered. Let's lock that in right now.
If he doesn't win this, then it must be buffed. That's the rules.
But it's just pure Berserk here. Berserk plus Rag Hero. So now there's not really any sort of myth units to deny these Berserks. There's no favor in the bank for a second Flaming Weapons, but does that matter here? Recon, I mean, he's moving out to get himself a third town center. He's at 138 population. There's still chaos in the bank. There's still a deconstruction here. And the rag comes in, and Naka, it's 281 population. The settlement gets deleted. And the army is marching.
Oh my good lord. I guess Recon could put down another spider layer. That's the only hope. Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is... I like the walls. I like the walls. He's certainly trying to make this work. There's the spiders. Wah!
There's just so many Berserks here. There's so many units. Kvoth, he wants to break through, but this building placement, the Arcus Ball here is so insanely strong. Houses going to be getting taken down. A Fire Giant going to be coming to join in as well. Is a big amount of damage. We don't see the... Kvoth has got himself that Burning Pitch technology for those thrown axemen to take units down even quicker here as the army now starts pushing out. Units coming down onto the bottom side of the map. They spot a palace or two down there trying to hold those villages. And now Kvoth has to pull back. He's not able to get into the main base, but he will be taking down those palaces down onto the bottom side of the map.
Fight each other. It's a smaller group, so it makes sense. It will last longer. The God Power does scale with the number of targets. And you know what, Recon is actually putting on a masterclass for this. He's holding the choke point. He's sniping the infantry with his Arcus, dealing a ton of damage. He's got several satyrs in the back who are doing line AoE damage. It's kind of working. What the hell?
I mean, with Kvoth splitting his army up, he's dropping in population really, really fast. The armory are actually going to get targeted down here to allow him through, and this will be a lot of units to break through onto this position and start getting the damage down. One thing that's difficult right now for Recon is he's got 0 income in terms of food and gold. He's only got wood income here as the army does break through. The palaces on the bottom have fallen. All the citizens in the middle are going to start falling to these rag heroes as the army now is completely erased for Recon. He can't build anything else. He's only got buildings remaining, Naka.
Making 6 more Arcus real quick. Let's see what that can do, but that's a lot of donkeys dying that I hear, Boit. I think this might be it. Recon doesn't have resources to even make one more donkey, and he's gonna have to resign. As you know, Kvoth behind this was actually gathering with several dwarves. He did fall behind the population cap, and actually earlier when he finished the last armory tech that he got a free dwarf. It didn't come down to that but it could have.
No, but Naka, I mean, we see it. Rag is balanced. Rag gets the dub.
There it is.
All you non-believers. Look at this. He goes... It's an 11,772 resource value Ragnarok versus 5,283 max value army here in that position. All resources collected here. Kvoth is so far in front. This is just like the ultimate risk for no real reason for Kvoth. He could have gone Fimbulwinter. He could have clicked that. He could have gone in for Berserker Gang and had those Berserks just never die. But he just says, screw it. Let's just try and finish this game in the next 2 minutes so we can get into game number 2. He gets the dub. And we are indeed going into game number 2, Naka. Let's get it. We are back in the top of the map, in the blue color, playing as Zeus. His name is Recon.
We've also got Kvoth, but he's down south. He's playing as the Red Hades here.
And it seems like deja vu. It seems like only yesterday, or maybe only 2 hours ago, maybe only 30 minutes ago that we watched this exact matchup. But Recon was on the other side of it from memory. He was the one playing Hades. Maybe I'm misremembering this.
He was.
And he managed to take out the Zeus with a really, really just quality economy, quality army over the Zeus player trying to just get that damage done. What is going to be different here for Recon? That's the question.
He's playing the other side of the matchup for one. Because he was the Hades. And Reed's all about what he's going to do differently. So when it was Redo playing, he used up Restoration very early on. He didn't get much value out of his Scylla, to be honest. Like, Recon's Hades was able to get much of the same done. He did still have Curse available. Bronze never got into play too much. It was all about those Athena hoplites and Toxotes just shredding a counter army. You know, Peltast, if they can get on top of the Toxotes and snipe them nicely, that's great. But if they're going to be fighting hoplites to do so, while Toxotes pick off the Hippospist in Heroic Age, now that is a problem for them. And I would actually favor the core unit composition over the counter unit composition here. So I think having that knowledge in the bag, I'm not sure Kvoth is aware. Let's see how they execute.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. We see both players opening up with the docks on the right side. I'm not exactly sure if this changes anything, considering both players probably going to go for both sides of the fish. We see a very aggressive dock coming down here for Recon to claim control of 2 packs of fishes, so 6 fish in the middle, and even maybe stealing some away from Kvoth, as he hasn't moved over to the left side of the map just yet. He does have the back fish down the bottom here, so it's going to be 18 fish a piece here for the players, but with Recon taking those 4-2 spots here and claiming all this, he could potentially go up to 21 and have a very significant edge going into this the first sort of portion of this game.
It's expensive, but it will definitely pay off, especially in the Heroic Age if you can keep them going with per scene. That's when the fishing ship economy really kicks in, because right now they're gathering at 0.5 per second. Not much to write home about. The villagers are quite a lot better at gathering, twice as good, actually, if they're on hunt. And they don't have to travel as much.
Exactly. I mean, over here we do have that Chariot of Spell. That one there is going to be a big help in the early game here. So whoever picks that up first and foremost is going to be able to put that pressure on. So it's going to be important to get that hero out pretty quickly here. I imagine that Recon scouted that one and he knows he wants to be the aggressor. He's got that bolt. He can lock down any sort of early Achilles or Minotaur if he feels like it, and get some early advantages. But Kvoth, he clicks up to the Classical Age first hit, and it's going to be Athena.
What about Recon? It's got to be Athena, right? Just a few resources left. There it is. And it's gonna be Athena, as we predicted.
Yeah, can you ever go Centaur here? I mean, arguably you can, but I don't.
But should you?
Should you is the
not.
question, right? Yeah, should you? You got to spend so much wood on those Centaur, and you have all this food sitting around. I guess you can then go in with hoplites. So Centaur hoplite could be an angle here for Zeus players to try out, but we're not going to be seeing it here. The Jason is out. It's moving forward. It's going to come and try and grab this Chariot of Sibel in the center and at least try and get a little bit of pressure happening.
Both players are playing very economically, though. They're even getting pickaxe, which you wouldn't do on a more aggressive water map like Mediterranean. Thankfully, it's not in our roster. We've seen enough of that in the old game. Every tournament, every series, it would come up. We are protecting ourselves, really. Let's talk a little bit about the relics while we have the time. Chariot of Cybele is going to spawn 2 lions immediately as well. It doesn't have the initial delay like the old game used to, so that's a plus.
Yeah, they're such...
And they respawn fast in general.
They're so strong. I mean, you look at them. They do 15 damage and attack for a free unit. Now,
That
of
is
course,
insane.
there's a 2.2 second recharge on there, or rate of fire on there. So it does take a little while to get that one back up. But just come in and you just snipe a unit and run, and then hit the thing and run. You get a lot of damage done.
Especially great against villagers because they don't use their hunting bow attacks against them. So that's something to always consider. I would like to send them separately, to be honest. We've also got the Kvoth of Apollo for villager movement speed. We've got the Hermes' Winged Sandals for hero movement speed. And down here, it's the Scales of Akatoblapas for Mythian Pierce Armor. But the battle is on. Ship versus Minotaur. Minotaur seems to not do that much damage. We had a bolt. What was that on?
It's on the Achilles.
It looks like.
Takes the Achilles out. The Heracles out for Recon. Manages to take down the Minotaur of Kvoth as well, effectively for free. It's looking like Recon is in a really, really nice place for the moment.
What are these houses in the far back for Recon? I think he's spreading them out because he fears the earthquake.
Yeah, this is something that
Smart man.
This is something that Mr. just talks about all the time. It's like, if anyone ever comes at you and says Age Mythology is imbalanced because you can just drop a god power down and a base gets erased, I say, you didn't play around that god power. You can easily build houses elsewhere, and that's exactly what we're seeing from Recon, and he's playing for it perfectly, and I love it.
It's such a deep game, Boit.
Yeah.
You can do so much in this.
Well, Achilles is back in, still trying to snipe down those Minotaurs of Recon. Recon microing it nicely, does manage to get a bit of pathing blockage, but the Minotaur goes down as the Achilles is almost half HP'd, or more than half HP'd there.
It's an expensive hero to lose. Gotta be careful with that. It gets on top of the trireme with the melee units, and it's actually taking quite a beating there.
Achilles is returned
Ships
back.
are going down, and the dock.
Yeah, the dock is cleaned up. This is kind of big here for Recon. He's still got the bottom side of the fish completely, basically untouched here. So he's getting all the value to kick this game off. He's also already clicked up here through Apollo. Now, what's that for? He's got the underworld passage to escape something, or attack something, or defend something. He's going to have access to Temple of Healing. That's going to be huge to heal up those. Well, no, now it's dead Minotaurs, so not going to heal those back up, but using that a little bit later could be an option for something else.
Okay, you know what you can do, Boit?
What?
I've never seen anyone do this, but you plant a temple near the sea, or in the water, in this map, actually, and you can heal your Scylla.
True. Big brain. There's also another technology that I've never seen get researched here, which is called anastrophe. Do you know what that one does?
That one's for Pentaconners, but I don't remember the effect. It's got something new, right?
Yeah. It from memory, it makes them stun enemy units. So get that technology, get some conjure out, you can stun some stuff.
Is that the counter to Scylla?
Could be. I don't know.
Noise.
Never seen anyone get it. I wouldn't know. Like,
I have the same issue.
Yeah. It crits and freezes, apparently. So I was close. Stuns, freeze, that's the same thing, right?
Basically. The Norse have something like that. Skadi has that. With the freezing.
Yes. Recon is playing this early game so insanely well. He's putting so much good pressure on. And this is classic Kvoth. You killed my dock. I'm just going to rebuild it. No worries. But can he get it up is the question. There's 3 seconds left. The villager dies. And the dock is immediately taken out yet again. So no dock for him.
Well, the Scylla gets taken down. And there's another Scylla. But this time for Kvoth. Did Recon make another? Maybe on the far side. I heard it. It's there. Okay.
Yeah. You also got that Odysseus coming out. I mean, there's a world where you get the favor up to 55 just to bolt your opponent's free water myth unit on this map, but we're not seeing that for Recon. He can easily just send.
That's intense.
He can easily just send Odysseus over there and deal with that, or Heracles, or Jason, or whatever.
I agree.
It's completely fine.
You can walk on water, so you might as well walk on water. These are now heavy hoplites, Boit. and they've got Sarissa. Add some Toxotes to the mix, and I think Recon is in a really good position to engage the army, but he's got to be careful not to lose the stragglers, because that moment would put Kvoth in a pretty relevant advantage. Do we have First Scene, by the way? Yes, we do, at least for Recon. We do for Kvoth as well, but Recon has way more fishing ships right now.
Yeah, there's a significant advantage in terms of economy coming through, right? But population-wise, Kvoth is in front. He's just behind on that tech for the time being. I don't know what Recon's doing with his resources.
Ooh, every single hoplite stunned. That's cursed.
I'm behind.
That's rough. That's a problem. Restoration is available for both players, so it will cancel each other out. Stun comes through, but actually, you know what? Recon's army is doing so much damage that he's beating this back. This is absolutely redonkulous.
Absolutely redonkulous indeed here. The Peltasts are out, the Manticore are out. Kvoth is on full retreat mode. He doesn't have himself up any defenses on this gold mine either. And Recon, he can just march forward and make Kvoth's life a living hell here.
Well, I would not want to be Kvoth right now. Recon does have to be careful a little bit with the choke point, but it seems the hoplites are so Giga Chat-like that they can just take it. Especially with that Manticore in the back, and there's a lot more coming. Peltast too.
Absolutely. Peltast on the back to snipe in onto those Toxotes. You don't even... Honestly, you don't even need them. You can just go mass hoplites, and the hoplites will actually win this fight if you micro them correctly. Toxotes are kind of rubbish. I don't know why anyone goes mass archerballs. Just go mass infantry. Look at them. The hoplites have got... They've got 24% pierce armor. That's plenty. Oh, you don't need any more than that.
That's just icing on the cake. As the real meta has been revealed, make hoplite, make win.
Exactly, we see a Desperation Fortress coming up for Kvoth, but the Peltast are in. The Hoplites are cleaning everything else up. Kvoth is about to lose all of those villagers on the fortress, as well as the Toxotes getting cleaned up on the back here. And in that moment, Kvoth taps out. And Recon levels the series.
This is going to be a series, that's for sure.
It's going to be a series without a doubt here. Kvoth, I mean, I talk about it a lot. He's a player who doesn't give up, but in that situation, there really wasn't much he could do. Recon just completely outclassed him in that one. As the resources collect, it's pretty equal. It just seems to be just order, maybe, of just things coming through. Military resource value seems to just be forever in favor of Recon.
Absolutely.
Also, a huge shout out to...
He's had the fishing advantage as well.
Huge shout out to Yo Dessler as well. Thanks for coming in. If you aren't checking out his stream throughout this event, I definitely recommend getting over there and giving him a follow. He's an amazing caster. Hopefully we'll get him in here and do some duocasts through this tournament as well, one of the next ones. But we're going to be moving into game number 3 here. Stick with us. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is time for game number 3. Right side of the map, Flipperoonie has been commenced. In the blue color, playing a set. His name is Recon.
We've also got the other guy on the other side. Kvoth is going to be playing as the Red Ra.
The map, Blue Lagoon. The series, finals. The tournament, Wrath of the Gods Retold qualifier number 1. There's going to be 2 more of these to come over the next 2 weekends. So definitely put those in your diary. Come hang out with us. We've got Yodesla covering it. We've got Nakamura with me today, but also covering it as well as AOL Iron Maiden. Some very, very fun games to be coming forward, I'm sure. But let's check out the relics.
That's right. And the third weekend is pretty interesting too, Boyd, because that's where the main event is, which is the $12,000 part of this event. Exactly. I might add.
It's not just the weekend. It's the entire week. We've got games coming at you all through the week, with obviously the big ones towards the end. But you know, if you want to catch some action, you've got to be following. So make sure you hit that follow button. But Naka, let's check out these relics. On the left side of the map here, we do have ourselves that Girdle of Hippolyta. A 10% boost to the ranged soldiers there. So that's actually a huge relic there to pick up to kind of level the playing field in this matchup for Recon. And he's going to be spawning it super early. If we keep moving up,
that's one of the advantages of Stead.
Exactly.
You just get to spot this stuff early.
Beyond that, there's also going to be Eye of Horus here, given a population cap of +4. Another insanely important relic to grab in this matchup. Top of the map here, Trojan Gate Hinge, a little bit less important. We're not going to be seeing all too many walls, I'm sure. And then the final relic on the right-hand side, we see Kopesh of Horus. It's a pretty important relic, honestly, for the Ra player to deal with ancestors and any sort of timings that can come through.
Yeah, that's a nice one for sure. I'll add about the wall relic that I think the part about base hit points is something that people very often forget. So it is just 120 health that you'll be gaining on the walls, whereas for stone wall you'd be gaining 500. So it's a pretty weak relic, in fact. Which is probably for the best. I mean, super strong walls. We've seen a lot of that in the original game.
Yeah.
Let's not have triple layer walls. The meta.
No, we'll say triple layer walls. Don't worry about it. But I'll send my Titan over to completely erase those.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. Or the engineer siege weapons, which just make them explode.
That's even better.
Really fun. You need a lot of space for real triple layer walls. Then you can't explode them anymore. True. Then you need the Titan.
True. Nonetheless, we're going to be seeing some age ups coming through. No surprises here from Recon. He's going through dice. Tried to go through quite quick here. He's beaten Kvoth to the punch in a big way. As Kvoth going for more of a 4:45 advance time. And this will allow Recon the option here to attempt to deny a second town center. The idea, I guess, from the set player is get a whole bunch of animal conversions. Get the line of sight onto the enemy town center. As they come over there, you go and shifting sands all your stuff, and you get your own town center normally without a pharaoh there. You try and get as much damage onto the villagers, getting that town center, deny that, and find a win if your opponent is going to be a little bit too greedy there.
Oh, quick response for the chat asking about what the series size is. Best of 5. It's a best of 5. Not doing 7s in the qualifiers. Well, save that for the big one.
Yeah. Also, if anyone's saying that it's 2-1 for Kvoth already, it is 1-1. The game is not over. Just because there's a Ra on the side here does not mean that it's going to be a win. We already saw Recon overcoming the quote-unquote odds, the meta. Winning Zeus versus Hades is very, very possible to win every single matchup if you play it well enough.
Apparently the stats for that one were 90-10, according to chat. I don't know if I believe it. I have to check later. I'm curious now.
Well, we are seeing
relics. But if so, then Recon's god.
You already see Recon across the map here, checking out this town center. He's not going to be allowing Kvoth to grab this one, but Kvoth is going to stay one town center for the time being. He's got 2 monuments up. I don't see him going for anything. He's got a barracks up as well to start producing some spearmen. Recon, on the other hand, he just says, well, if you're not going to get across the map to see my town center, I'm just going to throw it up. And now Recon is 2 town centers. Kvoth is 1 town center, and we might actually see a weird moment here, or a weird game here, I should say, where the player who would normally be the defender is going to have to be the aggressor, and the player who's normally the aggressor is going to have to be the defender.
Well, look, what Kvoth is doing with the one barracks, it's not much of a muchness. Honestly, Recon has full information right now. He sees with this baboon that there's no TC grab. He saw with the obelisk up north, that's now gone because it was killed by the spear, that there was no TC up north. So now he knows that, yeah, Kvoth is going to be making some units back home, and he's probably looking for a heroic age, but he's going in to confirm it. Yes, he's seen the units. He knows it's not a super fast heroic, so expecting the Vegets now. Should just go home, honestly, and leave this be. Enjoy the town center advantage.
Yeah, I mean, you could just run at this point. Or do you just put a barracks down and you try and continue to contest?
I think the walls are a good idea.
Yeah, walls are
But he still
so
put down the
good.
barracks.
Yeah, the barracks are up. Do you make some axemen here or do you just go for the spearmen? Axemen are a little bit of a waste in a way moving forward into the game. But right now they're super useful. So maybe not overcommitting too much, just a handful. We see 2 queued up now for Recon.
Nice.
But yeah, you want to be careful on this. So now we see the town center coming in. The baboon gets taken out. There's no line of sight over here. And did Recon just suffer? Oh, he can. He's got vision. Does he want to use it though and go for a shifting sands?
I don't know about all these villagers being there. I think they will hunt down the animals, and then you've given Kvoth food under his TC, so maybe don't do it.
It's kind of all in, but in a way, if it works, it works. But he doesn't want to go for it. And now it's just 2 town centers.
Kvoth is risk for sure.
Yeah, Kvoth's gotten through the early game here. He's going to be behind on villagers by a significant amount, but he's also raw, so he's going to be having that boosted economy in the main base. He's got everything empowered by the Pharaoh here. He's hitting 19 villages, and he's also got priests out to empower onto the bottom. So everything is getting boosted by, what is it, 60%? 70%? I can't remember.
Great. Sorry, the what now?
The priest empower rate, I think it's 70%. Nonetheless, what's 70% of 33? That's a huge, huge advantage in terms of economy. You do the math. I can't do it. What's 70% of 35 or 1.5 or 1.7? Can't do it. Too hard.
Too hard.
That's only building speed?
That's building speed and the sorry, okay, you said 70. Okay, 70 I think is for line of sight on monuments. Sorry, obelisks. So it doesn't go that far.
It's 15%, isn't it?
Is 15,
That's right.
and the pharaohs get 20, as I recall.
Okay, we got there in the end. Still, that's a big boost. my brain at this hour of the morning. You're gonna have to deal with it. All right.
I've got advanced tool tips, but sadly,
yeah, 70% of the Pharaoh. That's where I was getting that number from. It's come for me. But now we're seeing we got through that difficult moment of the game. We're seeing now Nephthys coming through for Recon. We're seeing Sobek come through for Kvoth here. Are you surprised to not see Sekhmet at the moment? Not to come in for both players?
a little bit. I'm liking the Sobek pick though from Kvoth. So basically, because you're empowering monuments, you're gonna have a little bit of extra favor. The one monument empowers another, one thing leads to another, and basically you're swimming in favor. So recasting Locust is actually a pretty effective way to play this, and you've got your hyper damaging Migo units like camels, high mobility. You get on top of those villagers, you cast the Locust on them, and you pick off the stragglers. It's a great way to play this game.
Yeah, I mean, you also got the thing of if your opponent's going for mass barracks units, how good is that? There's a low HP, right? So you get them very close to death. Did you just say that?
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, follow up with the chariots or the poisoning Wadgets. It's actually a good combo. You might see it right here.
There's another thing that recently I've been made privy to, which is Petsukos beat Chariot Archers. Petsukos are insanely useful in this matchup. You can't just go mass
you have the
chariots
same
against
method,
these. You just have to get out that Crocodopoulos technology that boosts the crocodiles from 20 range up to 28 range, and suddenly 20 range chariot archers, even 23 range chariot archers don't seem that good. But look at what Recon is going for here. That's
Clairvoyance. That's good, sir.
But he wants clairvoyance. He hasn't even clicked vision once, and he wants clairvoyance. But more than that, he wants thought. So super fast thought.
Rock is being used as a Pegasus right now. That's funny, I think.
And
it's
that's
gonna also die.
that's the use. That's the use case. It's a Pegasus. It's a free Pegasus. Why would you not use it? It's a Pegasus. I know you love your flying transport ship shenanigans. But really, the pro players, all they want is vision. All they want is knowledge. Knowledge is power. Rule number 4. Rule number 3.
They're so smart. Oh, we've also got Osiris. Maybe Mummies and South Osiris will be the mix here. It will certainly work very nicely against all these barracks units.
Yeah. I think the transition here for Recon, it looks to me like it's going to be some version of Spearman Chariot Archer. That's my kind of guess. At the moment, he's got 11 villagers on wood, so he's going to be able to pump those out quite nicely. Just one Migdol with Valley of the Kings can work out nicely for him. But yeah, the mummies are going to be the problem. The Son of Osiris is going to be the problem. And the fact that Kvoth is just sitting here and sure he's behind on villagers by a tiny bit, doesn't matter. He's got such a boosted economy from all those monuments. Camel raids now coming through up to the top here. Does look like the Migdol stronghold will be up. Villagers going to be garrisoning away. And Spearmen are here to defend.
Yeah, that's okay. The camels didn't super need to get the work done. What matters is that later on the Son of Osiris and whoa. Here it comes.
And the farms all getting cleaned up here as well.
So many houses are gone, but I think the TC will live. The Pharaoh does live also. Can be healed up, but yeah, this is actually a lot of damage in terms of resources. Like, you have to rebuild all this crap, and the farms are all gone, as you said. Ouch.
Yeah, you see that max pop dropping down to 58. That's the thing that hurts. And every time I watch people in this position, what they do is they just grab a bunch of villagers and they shift click the houses. This is the slowest way. It's the fastest way in terms of actions to get these houses up. But the fastest way in terms of actual minutes, as we see a great raid coming through from Kvoth behind all of this, the fastest way is to just get one villager, build a house, and another villager build a house, and another villager build a house. And if you get 14 villagers to build all your houses, they're all finished in 20 seconds.
It goes especially fast if you have a hotkey for your individual either villagers.
Exactly. The Camel Rider's kind of getting caught out of position here as the Wadget's going to get some crazy amounts of damage done. Phoenix flying overhead also going to be pushing those units back.
It's Son of Osiris versus Wadget. This is my favorite thing. Let's go.
That's right. These are going to be... There's going to be some sad Wadgets very, very shortly, but we do see Recon coming through onto the back here with some Spearmen. This could go well for him if you can get that Son of Osiris kind of caught out. He's going for it as the Spearmen charging forward. Nope, he's just linking back up with his army. They're getting put out of position.
Oh, Recon really wants the business.
There he goes. He's in there.
Going for it.
There's a shifting sands available if need be, but the Ancestors coming in. Wadget's on the back here, coming through, and there's the shifting sands. Keeps the Son of Osiris alive, gets everyone back to safety. Ancestors is gone. A couple more units going to be falling down, but Kvoth, he's still going to be in a good spot here.
This is very manageable indeed. Now, hopefully, those chariots wouldn't be dying. Unfortunately, they get surrounded. So, Kvoth does take a beating there. The Phoenix will come back from the egg, by the way, eventually. We'll get there.
You've got to be careful about that one, and obviously Recon going to be pushing forward to try and get that one back. He's still trying to push in onto this army. He's got the army advantage for the time being here, but Son of Osiris is packing a punch behind all of this. Kvoth is also grabbing a town center up the top of the map. Rain coming through, but there's just not the population. There's not the production here, and Kvoth at this point is actually not producing anything as he finally wakes up and he starts to kill out a couple of Camel Riders.
Yeah, that was very, very problematic. The Son of Osiris got away, but also took a bit of a beating. Now Recon is back with his champion camos as well, and they're coming out 2 at a time. You know what that means. Valley of the Kings has been in play for a while, and the numbers will be going nuts. Very difficult to keep up as Osiris. Of course, you got your Son of Osiris, but he's not quite as strong as Daddy himself. And find out in the campaign.
And this has been something I've been thinking about just a little bit in terms of this matchup. I really hate playing, personally, I don't like playing matchups where I just spam one unit and then that's it. I don't like that. I want to be able to make an army composition. And this army composition now that Recon's going into is Camel Rider and Spearman. He's also getting himself champion archers to start making some chariot archers as well. I really, really like this idea of just Camel Rider, Spearman to deal with your opponent going mass Camel Rider. Gives you that little bit of an edge, especially when your opponent's got the advantage of going for Desert Winds and also for that Dark Waters tech.
Got that. He's got Desert Wind. Bronze Armor's also in. It's not a bad combination, Boit. I like it. But he'll be going up against a great tide of incoming units. That's for sure.
And the Shifting Sands is coming through here for Recon as Kvoth kind of getting caught out. The town center is going to be the next target here as a couple more siege works. Migdol Stronghold going to get dropped down. Camel Riders for Kvoth, they're speedy, 7.2 speed. They're going to get out of here. And while that goes on, Kvoth says, all right, you're over there. Let me raid you on the bottom side of the map. You're never going to be safe against these Camel Riders in this game.
I'll be careful with that Son of Osiris helping with the siege as the Migdol is choosing to shoot it now. Taking a bit of a beating there, but it's certainly manageable. What Recon is doing, however, is winning on the opposite side and might be able to take down the TC if he brings around the camels, but he's more interested right now in the farming villagers who are gonna get wrecked.
Yeah, both players are getting a lot of villager kills coming in, and Recon is still in front. He's got the 90 villagers at the moment, but in losing all of these, it's going to be a very, very challenging position to be in. The Camel Riders for Kvoth, they've got some decent armory upgrades. On the other side here for Recon, he's actually kind of in a similar spot armory upgrade-wise, and in the main base we're seeing Recon just going after villagers underneath everything. The Son of Osiris is in to get some revenge fire through, but that's also a dangerous spot to be in. Not enough units to actually deal with that. As Recon is just falling all over the map. This is kind of one of the first times I think I've seen Recon struggling to keep up with the multitasking going on, as Kvoth is just all over him, it seems.
That's right, and the population is starting to show how strong Kvoth is at 189, which is 140. That's a pretty big advantage to have at this point in the game, especially considering that they're totally even, but Recon does have 5 more villagers. It does matter a little bit.
Yeah, we are still seeing those spearmen doing a great job of actually defending after all of the pressure has come in, but population-wise, it's equal. Son of Osiris is still existing, still half HP. That's the big problem. There will be access to 5 Migdols at the moment for Recon on the map. I don't see where he's got the Pharaoh. Maybe the Pharaoh's fallen somewhere, but he's not utilizing that Valley of the Kings for the moment.
I think he died in the previous fight. Should be back momentarily, though. Just heard it.
And now Kvoth is on the warpath yet again. He's pushing forward, but immediately town center targets down Son of Osiris. Son of Osiris, 112 HP, 87 HP, 62 HP, 49 HP. It's going to be falling here.
Don't go there.
And it's down.
Man, look like this.
But Recon, he's running out of population. He's not able to take these fights all too well.
Certainly, Recon has a ways to go to come back in this situation, but he is certainly trying.
Recon has...
The catapult is currently sieging this TC. He's gonna be pulling the boys, hopefully to help, but maybe not, maybe not. There's too many camels.
Lots and lots of camels coming in. There is a Phoenix over here to help out. I mean, with the catapult to take out the town center, it's still going to be a bit of a problem here, but it looks like Recon is just falling further and further behind in this one. Another Migdol coming up, but the Camel Riders here for Kvoth are just so obscenely strong at this point. Also, a Priest going to come over and try and take out that Phoenix. The Phoenix is so important with holding this position, but now the Villager lead is now very, very heavily in favor of Kvoth.
Eventually, the Camels will be able to destroy the Migdol strongholds too if they really try, but unfortunately, some of them are hitting the mining camp. That was unfortunate. But hey, if there's a catapult or two, then everything will go down very differently. Additional rains are coming in, which kind of helps to keep up against Valley of the Kings, even in the long run. And Kvoth is sneaking a north gold mine there. That's crazy. Did not expect that.
At this point, what can you do if you're Recon? What's the plan?
I think there might not be a plan anymore, Boit. It's too many resources in the bank for Kvoth. He can start up a trade if he really wants to. Hell, he's taking another secret gold mine location. But yeah, the triple market, I think, is in order. And it's time to grab the 4th town center. Eat all the remaining gold mines, get those camels on top of the chariots, and that does mean that they are winning there because they get the bonus damage.
Yeah, they get 2x bonus against those chariots. It's so good against them.
It's the only location that Recon still has a safe gold mine. There was one up north earlier, but I think that was already gone. Kvoth takes game number 3.
Yeah, that was a tense moment there for Kvoth. He almost completely got pushed out of this game by Recon, but the Son of Osiris shifting sands, keeping it alive, keeping his army alive, dealing with the ancestors, dealing with that big initial push, and then he just gets to that ridiculously strong unit inside of the champion Camel Rider, and Kvoth says, let's go to game number 4. I want to get to sleep. Really solid gameplay here from Kvoth in that one. And I mean, Naka, the resources kind of speak for itself here in terms of all resources collected. This was just Raid City as well, wasn't it?
It really was. And, you know, actually, it was really back and forth. Like, Recon got a lot done. I think that was pretty impressive as far as that goes. Holding on against the Son of Osiris push for so long, I think went pretty well for him. If he just had some more stuff to hold back the Camel Tide, that would have really helped. Maybe you make more fortresses, I'm not sure, but something didn't add up there in terms of actually getting the kill on the Son of Osiris. Maybe you're supposed to aggressively shift onto him and get the full round.
Yeah, after the first shifting sands comes in or retreats back, you shifting sands onto the Son of Osiris with your entire army and say, get out of here. But Nako, we're going to be moving into game number 4 as the players are going to get that one sorted out. Let's make it happen. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, in the left side of the map. Playing as Odin, his name is Recon.
On the other side of Marsh is his opponent, spawning as the Red Oranos. This is Kvoth.
Dun, 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 dun. We already talked about it a little bit pre-game, but game points here for Kvoth. He just needs one more win. He's got the Oranos. He's up against Odin. It's on Marsh. This is not an easy matchup for either party here. Odin doesn't have that Mithril breastplate tech that comes from Forseti to give him the super edge on just massing those berserks. We saw that already being very effective. He also doesn't have Bragi to just walk into the enemy base and just cause a whole bunch of havoc. So he's got to be a little bit more smart, quote unquote, about decision making and trying to find ways to fight this one. Naka, wouldn't you say?
I completely agree. He also doesn't have the hammer upgrade from 4.
No.
So the Hersiers are just weaker. He doesn't have Hall of Feints. The Hersiers are slower. Is this an opportunity to go for Mass Promethean? I think it very well might be. We'll see if he actually goes for that. But I mean, what's the alternative? Going for Oceanus and trying to get Serrated Sword Murmillo going? It could be the thing, but I just don't see that being the better play right now.
Well,
You have tons of Myth units prey on the Hersier while they're weak. Overwhelm. I think that's the way to go. Oh, and you got Shockwave to work on the heroes as well.
that's right.
Which previously wasn't the case in the old game, and Retold it is.
That's right. We've got a question in chat. I want to delve into this. Why not use Great Hunt at the start of the game? Why save it? Well, in the Classical Age, you get 1,000 food for it. In the Heroic Age, you get 12,000. In the Mythic Age, you get 2,100. 12,000, 1,200, 2,100, 3,500 for Wonder. So the later you hold it in the game, the more value you get out of it. And that's the same with most God powers that have like some sort of resource value in them, I guess.
But don't hold it until the Wonder Age. At that point, you just pay the favor.
You can just, if you're in the Wonder Age, you just use it kind of off cooldown.
On cooldown, yeah. Who needs farms? Just delete your farms.
That's
at that point.
That's right. You're getting 3,000 food. Insane. Nonetheless. Let's check out the relics. The players are going through Freya and Oceanus. We've got Scales of Catopopos. Not that much of a useless relic here. We've got that Sharon's Obel. It does help out a little bit if your villagers get slapped down and die, but not that impactful of a relic. Dwarven Calipers here is the Siege. Going a bit cheaper. Again, not that impactful. Rhea's Crown here. We could have seen some Heimdall shenanigans with Mass Village Center. But not going to see that. Svaldilfari's Sledge here, Naka. This one is going to be Fortresses costing.
Ooh, that's great.
0 favor. I love that relic. And Adamantine Shingles. Not the most important there either.
Prohibitive to build fortresses, but with that relic, everything's going to change. You can make your myth units and still get your mass fortresses.
Well,
wait, somebody picked a relic. It's going to be Rhea's Crown. Yeah, it is too late now for the Heimdall shenanigans, but doesn't mean you can't get a town center later.
No, but we are seeing a very stock standard opening here from both players. Kvoth goes military barracks, counter barracks. Recon goes longhouse, great hall. Just get one little thing of everything, and we'll just decide where we go from then on in. One other thing to take note here is Recon is playing incredibly safe here in the start of this game. He's not going out onto any water buffalo. Right next to his base, he's just going, I'm just going to go with the turkeys, the chicken, and we'll just stay here for a little bit before anything happens so we don't get caught out or lose anything.
Sure, and once he's safe, he can use his great hunt on the buffalo, getting a whole lot of value for it. Certainly not in a rush right now to get anything special done. Double Hershey production is in, but I'm not really sure what for, because there's not going to be myth units. It's all about favor, right?
Well, there's two things to worry about. So the first one is the immediacy of Carnivora just coming down. You have to be able to deal with those in a fight. So I guess you need them for those. And then the other one is potential dryads coming in and just being prepared for that. But that's a long ways away, right?
Yeah, so it's got to be the Carnivora that he's prepping for. And maybe the multi-relic pickups. That's actually not bad. And long term, you save up for Valkyries, I guess, if you want to stay in the Classical Age. I wouldn't want to stay too long in the Classical Age here. Certainly not for Valkyries.
And Kvoth is playing...
He's just a little bit scary.
Kvoth is playing this opening so absurdly defensive here. Like, he's building Terma. He hasn't seen a single throw an Axeman. He's throwing Terma.
God.
And Recon goes, if you're going to sit in your base, and you're not going to come out and play with me, I'm going to get a town center. And it's a cheap town center because he's got that he's got that upgrade, right? How much is it costing? 315 with 315 golds. So nearly legacy prices.
Wait, how do you get the display on that?
I looked at the
'Cause I can't.
hometown center.
That's cheating.
I know.
Hey, did you know you can spam the order and then it will show you the messages of this many more resources required?
I didn't.
But the hometown center is
Fair
the better way
enough.
to do this, yeah.
Now I do. Anyways, second town center up. Kvoth, he now knows it. But now what do you do? He's still sitting in his base. He's throwing another military barracks down. He sees the army. He's got to get something happening soon, otherwise, well, Recon... Sure, he doesn't have those ridiculously strong berserks, but he's got pretty strong berserks with Hamask, the unique upgrade to Odin. And the army of Kvoth is, I mean, it's getting stronger with, like you say, serrated blades. Bite of the Shark is now coming through. So it's going to be a strong army, but he's got to get pressure done, because otherwise the villagers are just going to mass, and he's Recon will hit the max population really, really soon.
Well, the TC certainly has not paid for itself just yet. So hitting now and potentially getting a large amount of villagers caught, especially with Shockwave, could be a game-changing moment. But Kvoth has waited a long time for this.
Yeah.
Hey, are we going to see the Shockwave or what?
I mean, I'm a fan of just throwing it down as soon as I got an advantage to do it. I mean, Shockwave is a fantastic gold power, but it only costs 15 favor, and you're not really spending that favor on all too much. Probably should have a handful more oracles out. Get a whole bunch of villager killers, and you're in a good spot. Forest fire getting dropped down into the main base. Citizens have to retreat back as the Valkyrie shows up. All the villagers are now going to be safe inside the town center. They can jump through that sky passage and leave if they so choose to somewhere a little bit more dangerous, but... or less dangerous. I don't know. But a hero Murmillo in, and the Valkyrie for Recon has been left for dead.
Oh no, I forgot. That happens, especially in a high pressure situation like this. Match point. Again, a reminder, Recon is thinking about, oh shit, what if I lose? Don't want to be in that situation, of course.
Recon's going to be
He's
happy
taking a
about
big
the
risk
position,
with the
right?
town center, but it could pay off.
Yeah, he's got to be happy about it. He does have to be scared of this army, though. That's the thing. Doesn't have any throwing axemen out. He's now researching that Hamask upgrade. You see the Carnivora getting dropped down. That's going to be huge here. Great Hunt was cast on something there from Recon. Carnivora gets sniped down there from those Ursa. Shockwave coming in. There's some more units coming through here for Kvoth.
It's almost just Terma left at this point, even though there have been two Caladrias helping out with the healing. It's just kind of not enough stuff. And as these Berserks actually get weaker, Damask is going to come into play, helping them do a little bit more damage. Hamask, sorry. Yeah, more damage as the units get weaker. You don't want to play into that, but it helps the units perform a little bit as they're fighting.
Yeah, and it's got to be at some point where Kvoth goes, I've just got to get myself a town center, right? Like, he's kind of kept himself equal-ish in terms of villagers with these raids, sniping a dwarf down nicely over here as well, just causing some problems. Low HP villager here could go down, but not going to be able to go just yet in onto that one. Population differential is just very close, and like we say, these Terma are kind of useless units at the moment.
They really are. These Berserks don't care too much, but then again, they don't have a lot of HP. If the kiting is perfect, you could eventually get them, but that's asking for a lot. It's a lot of work, certainly. Heroic Age for Recon might be coming in a reasonable time frame. Ditto. Not so true for Kvoth. Sorry, yeah, it's Kvoth. You know, I got confused right now by the banner colors. Okay, I'm getting tired.
Oh. Kvoth is still just trying to bash his head in onto this one. A whole bunch of Murmillo sitting behind on this position here. So they're going to be charging forward to try and take out a couple of those Berserks here. The population is still quite close. And I can't believe that Kvoth is still building Terma at this point. I wouldn't mind seeing just like one or two Karabala style. You know, if you just set them up in a position and, you know, you've always got a retreat path. You don't have to go too far forward with them. But you just put them on the back there and you can have a retreat and your opponent can't like chase you down or anything unless he gets bashed in a big way by those arrows. Obviously, building too many of them can be kind of low value, but Kvoth at the moment, he's got a ton of Mamilla currently training. He's got to get some more military buildings down to spend those resources that he's getting in here.
And the hard commit to the classical age fighting is gonna be a problem once heroic age is reached by Kvoth, unless this dwarf army now entirely goes down. But I'm afraid the Terma just get essentially surrounded, and there's not gonna be an easy way out of this.
Looks like he got 2 villager kills only on that one as well, which, I mean, every little bit matters. He's going to lose a handful of HP on some of these units, but continuously turning around here. A couple more units going to be coming through for Kvoth, but he takes a lot of losses in this one. Those berserks are just packing such a punch at the moment as Kvoth decides it's time to take the fight. Doesn't have the favor for another Carnivora on this one. The army of Recon is just insanely strong, it would seem, with those berserks, but who's going to come out in front here is the big question.
Oh man, he's not using the shockwave. It looks like the berserks are just going to own this entire thing, aren't they? It's not even close.
It's not even close. A couple of reinforcements coming through, but now Kvoth has to disengage, and Recon is slowly but surely pushing into an insurmountable lead here. Sky Passage gets deleted. Oh my god. Well, that's okay. The villagers popped out on the other side. Plenty of other stuff to do. Trouble is, how do you deal with the Skadi coming up? And the third town center from Recon and potentially heavy infantry right after that. Hell, he could go into... Oh my god. What, a second forest fire for this? No, no. I love second forest fire. It's my favorite. It's asserting your authority of your opponent.
that's a get out forest fire. I got it.
But right now, however, this army that Kvoth has finally built is finally looking kind of scary. There's only Murmilla at the moment. Recon might be regretting flexing there on that forest fire.
The Carnivora also helping out. There's no favor for the Shockwave, however, as there's not been enough oracles out on the map. Still, the Berserk somehow eke out the win, and Recon is going to equalize the series. We're going to the ace match.
Yes. That's what we needed. That's what we wanted. All in all, it's best of 5. It's 5-game series. It's these two players are very, very closely matched in this one, Recon and Kvoth. I mean, I was a little bit dubious about the Berserks being so effective there, but it seems Kvoth didn't read the situation all too well. Going in with those Terma, not quite managing to make it work. And in the end here, if we take a quick look at the units killed loss, it's just so much in favor, too much in favor of Recon here. Plus, on top of that, resources just through the roof here for Recon. Alrighty, I think that just means it's time to move on to Game 5. And it's time to go. What's going on, everyone? My name's Boit. We're in the game number 5 at the bottom of the map. Playing as the blue color. His name is Recon, and he is his ISIS.
On the other side, not messing around with non-Greek gods anymore. This is Kvoth playing as Poseidon. Red color.
What a time to be alive.
Maps Giza, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be pretty open. There's a little bit of obstacles in the way towards Recon's base, so that kind of helps, especially if it's going to be a rate-heavy game. You can very easily wall these paths, but once you go a little bit further out, not so easy anymore, is it? That's a lot of space to cover, really. Giza is so random with these. Sometimes you get an enormous cliff in the middle, the size of all three of these combined, and just splitting the map like Oasis would. Not the case this time around. The gold mines are also in a rather solid and safe-ish position, but they're still outside of the base, so no freebies, no town center back gold mine shenanigans. This is gonna be real gaming right here.
Yeah, I mean, you could always go for like a forward town center, and then that kind of creates your back gold mine in a way. But one thing that's interesting here from Kvoth, and this is something that I've talked about a little bit over my own gameplay and what I prefer, is Kvoth has not dropped that lure down to kick this game off. He's going with the granary and then what? The reason why you do this is as the game progresses, in the classical age, you get an extra 100 food, you get an extra 100 food of chickens as well. If you wait for the heroic age, you get even more. I prefer to throw this down just as I hit the classical age onto my chickens, and it gives me exactly the same amount of value as I think anyone else does. The only difference is I can't hit the classical age at 315. I get 330 and it's totally fine. So I like the idea here from Kvoth. He's also going on to second food. He's going for a later advance, and this is Kvoth's playstyle. He doesn't like to go for these early advances and try and put all that pressure on. Instead, take a nice, simple start to the game all the time, and then just try and win with fundamental, mechanical gameplay.
You know, about the lore, it makes so much sense because you're not going to be bullying an ISIS too much early on, right? Like, they're going to get a reasonable advance time themselves, then they have the towers. You probably don't want to mess with that immediately. But once you've got your cavalry out and about and they're upgraded to regenerate, then you can suddenly start thinking about diving, especially if the ISIS doesn't go Anubis, which is the case right now. Do you think Recon is going to attempt to go for multiple Sphinxes and raid with them in hopes of seeing a second town center, or are we just going to go fast heroic with this?
Well, what's the weakness of Greek? The weakness of Greek is that they've only got 2 heroes. So if you make 3 Sphinx and you put 3 Sphinx in 3 different places, there's no way for your opponent to defend all 3 of those Sphinx with 2 heroes. So it makes sense to build a handful of Sphinx.
He has the APM.
Yes, he does. So it makes sense, but also another thing that makes sense is save your favor. You do the same thing with Scorpion Men, but go for a timing attack. You don't have to click Ancestors Eclipse. You can just click it. You can just go and put some pressure on, get some Chariot Archers, and then you can snipe the enemy heroes while also raiding them.
And you know, Scorpion Men raiding during Eclipse, 2 of them will one-shot a villager, which is absolutely bonkers. I think we need to see more of the double Scorpion Man business. But hey, we've got the barracks, just in case.
Yeah, this
Probably
is
not super necessary considering how late the Greek advance is here. My god, that is late.
Yeah, he's getting himself husbandry, he's getting himself pickaxe. If anything, this is kind of looking like Kvoth is just going pure macro off of 1 town center. Like, he can go and drop a second town center. He's got 9 villagers on wood, no problems, but he's got 2 villagers on favor as well. And in taking such a late advance time, he gets a big amount of advantage moving forward into the early game, or the early to mid game, I would say, as he's dropping 2 stables, getting that Atalanta out. And Recon, on the other hand, he's kind of playing into this a little bit. He's making spears. He's going to try and get some raids off, but it's not really going to be a whole lot to target down. I kind of feel like Kvoth may have forgotten about his lure. He's building another granary, but that's fine.
Yeah.
He could be saving it for the
Maybe
heroic
he'll put
age.
it on his berries.
That's true. It's true. It's not a terrible idea either. So let's take a quick look at the relics that have been picked up here. We've got Kvoth grabbing Chariots of Spell. That's a really, really nice one. And he's also got that Nose of the Sphinx, going to be giving him even more defensive assistance. On the other side of the map, it's Ring of Nibelung for Recon.
Nice, having that extra little gold is definitely useful. We've got the Thundercloud Shaw left on the map for unit Pierce Armor. Human units and heroes get it. Not going to come into play for the longest time, but it is useful to have later on, especially once Jared's come around. Creo Sphinx is being upgraded by a Recon, and it's going to make more Sphinxes. So exactly as you said, Sphinxes, free locations potentially. We'll see what's going to happen during that.
Well, yeah, there's always this
Kitties.
really scary attack that's going to come. But it's not that scary, but it is scary. This really scary attack that's going to come, which is Eclipse with a whole bunch of myth units. The thing is that Eclipse lasts really, really long. So even if you cease fire, you're still going to have to deal with what comes after it. So I like the idea here from Recon to just stick it out in the Classical Age. Probably go for an Eclipse timing onto the second gold mine, while Kvoth is also sticking it out in the Classical Age, and go from there. But the army kind of getting graded over onto this position as Recon has spotted him there.
Chasing this army down seems easy right now with that many spearmen. Will Kvoth actually have an answer to this, or is he just happily walling himself in on that goal? It's the cutest little base I've ever seen. It's actually really smart when you think about it. It will stop ancestors. It will stop the Sphinx raids. He's building in a very smart way.
I think I've never seen this. Is there any Kvoth fans out there watching his stream? Does he do this every single game? I've never seen this. This is actually really cool.
It's new. You can say many things about Kvoth, but he's not uninspired.
Yeah. Oh, and also the lure comes down now after he's eaten all of the hunt on his side of the map. So he's not going to have to go out and grab other hunt. The rest of the hunt's just going to start wandering forward into him. He's going to be able to eat it. So he doesn't grab any of his close hunt. He's completely fine there. And he's got all the food in the main base to last him forever. This is a pretty big brain opening from Kvoth to kick this game off.
Dionysus is coming in, which means we're gonna see super Hippicons. Some way, Recon will have to answer that. Heroic Age for him is about to be clicked up as well. He chooses Nephthys for that Ancestor's Eclipse, of course, but that's gonna get cease-fired. And then, you know, definitely, I think Kvoth should be looking at adding in a little bit, maybe, of Hippa's Fist, just to deal with the Spearman. He will have 3 heroes this time around, and certainly there's no easy way to get in the base. Spirited Charge is coming in for faster, stronger cavalry. Medium cavalry is coming in for stronger cav as well. But the initial gold mine is going to be expired, and Kvoth has to leave his little fortress.
And there's also one more thing. Does he go for the Thracian horses? Or does he go for those Hydra? He does just get the Spirited Charge take, but he's got a lot of favor in the back for a couple more Hydra.
Not a terrible idea. But,
And I
how
guess
many priests are on the map? Just 2?
just
That
a
is
couple.
great.
Yeah. There's one more thing to kind of have in the back of your mind here. Bronzed Hippias beat Spearman for resource cost. With Thracian horses, it gets even bigger of a problem. So Kvoth here, he can just sit in his main base here, mass up the biggest army ever, and then just walk across, bronze, and clean everything up. So long as he's close on population, close on military power here. And it's looking like he is. This is kind of
Heavy cavalry
scary.
also is coming. Whoa, he cancelled. Don't do that. And maybe get Hippolyta and then go. Not to say that you can't go out on an expedition with Cav. That's certainly a thing.
Prostagma.
Hey, Recon never actually made a Migdor stronghold. How is he gonna hold on to these locations?
Yeah, these
Hetimos.
Hippias are slowly going to be getting very, very scary, but there's a lot of units here. Kvoth not paying attention as his Hippias are going to be charging forward. There's the Ancestors getting dropped down. Ancestors Eclipse, no ceasefire just yet. Hippias going to be retreating away for Kvoth.
Hey, that triple Sphinx catching the Hydra is actually doing a lot of damage. Might be taking it out if there's no ceasefire in time. And it's dead. That's an unfortunate moment for Kvoth right there. And Recon is getting on top of the villagers. Now that's not going to be allowed. Definitely Ancestors is cancelled by this for the most part. Eclipse will be on for a little bit longer. Most of the Hippicon did go down, at least in health, right? Not actually dead, but they are rather weak, and they're regenerating now, so that's good.
Lege.
Yeah, he's got
That's good for
that
them.
Lord of Horses technology, so it gets just a little bit of regen. It's only 0.5. But the Spearman, heavy Spearman in, I was saying that they win, but only when you click bronze. The Spearmen are going to win these fights pretty hard here. And it looks like Recon, he's got the army comp. Maybe they don't win. Maybe the Thracian Horses Cavalry are overpowered. Look at him go!
Something. Sphinxes are going to be chasing it away, though they can't take that kind of punishment, and now the villagers are in a significant amount of trouble. Why did we wait with bronze until Eclipse was over? It no longer blocks God power usage. Oh boy, this is gonna hurt. Spearmen are still seemingly losing, though, for the most part. There's a crazy amount of armor, but Sphinxes have certainly killed a lot of them. Oh my god, all the villagers are poisoned!
So much damage there from Recon. Kvoth has got no god powers left. He's got 70 pop. He's dropping in population. He's about to lose a whole bunch of villagers here as they get pulled off the line to start shanking down. We see another lure going through as Kvoth taps out, and it's a short game 5. It's a sweet game 5. It's a game 5 for Recon as he is crowned the winner of Wrath of the Gods Retold qualifier number 1.
Man, Kvoth almost had this figured out with just a few tweaks. He could have been the person, but the little things are what make the top players the top players. And Recon is once again defending, his position among the big boys. He's certainly a big boy now. Nobody can take that away from him. And in fact, you guys are not going to get to try to beat him anymore. In these qualifiers, you have to qualify for the main event to be a big boy yourself. And Recon will be just laughing in the sidelines. No, I'm kidding. Kvoth gave him a really good run for his money. He won't be laughing at this. Recon must be sweating.
Yes, indeedy. Nonetheless, guys, that was game 5. What a time to be alive.